Dear self, you are forgiven, healed, and redeemed. You must not be afraid of being who you are. You are one of a kind. You are loving and thoughtful. You are a winner and a victor, no longer a victim. You must rise. Money can never satisfy you, but being true to yourself, money can come and go. But no matter what happens, live your life and do your best. What truly matters is your life and happiness. Do what is best for you and never settle for anything less. You are strong and you are brave. No one is like you because God created everyone differently. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Enjoy the small moments and appreciate the people around you. You have what it takes to be a world changer. People's opinion about you do not matter, but God is. What they say about you doesn't change who you are and whose you are. You are a child of the one true King. Remember that. Hebrews 13:5 says, I will never fail you. I will never abandon you. Psalm 91:1 says, those who live in the shelter of the Most High will find rest in the shadow of the Almighty. So find your rest in Him. And those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. They will soar high on wings like eagles. Isaiah 40:31. Dear heart, you have been wounded, trampled on. That is why it is hard to open up. Let go, let love sink in to the deepest core of your soul. Let God heal your brokenness. Let Him patch it up with His great love, that ultimately the gap and the void no longer exist. My heart may fail. Heart, may you beat again. May you try and live again. Why are you cast down, O my weary heart? Trust in the Lord and let His loving arms catch you, and let His loving arms hold you, for He has the best intentions at heart, for He loves you so much. This is a day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Psalm 118:24. Life is about living. To live is a privilege. It is a precious gift given to each one of us by the Creator of the universe. He said, all things are good. Have you ever been in a state of drudgery or find yourself in the humdrum of life? I'm not sure if you ever noticed how life shifted dramatically since all of us have been through such calamities. It feels as though nothing is the same. When you've been traumatized in life, it will change you from the inside out. That's why instead of making your pain make you horrible, miserable, unworthy, make your pain be as a stepping stone to make you better. Cultivate and keep what's good and toss what's not. Somehow you feel as though those wounds are going to break you, but ultimately, if you use those stones to build a castle, no one can ever shatter it, and no one can ever crumble it to the ground, because you know that the Rock of Ages is there holding you up, and He is the one carrying you through it all. So remind yourself today that the earth is full of the goodness of the Lord. The counsel of the Lord stands forever. He fashions their hearts individually. He considers all their works. Our soul waits for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. So hello, welcome to this new place. It's actually something that I decided to do out of the park. It's such a fabulous day this morning, and it's actually still beautiful. Eventually fall is not here yet. The sun is actually just making it harder to see. So today is your being. So when we talk about the essence of being as a woman, we usually talk about doing. We like to do things, do our makeup, as you have seen me do, exercise, we drink lots of water, and don't forget to do this one right here. I just usually drink lots of water if I could, and have your fruits, bananas, and this oranges, because actually it's about time to get healthy when winter is almost here. So being is about being stillness. The doing part is the action. The doing part is the exercise. We get our sweat done, and this is the park. Actually, people are running and exercising right now. I love it. And also, we tend to get so focused on the external. We tend to invest too much time in the appearance. As a woman, we love to invest in our hair, makeup, as you probably have usually seen me talk about all the time, how to heal from our deepest wounds. It's all about healing to the root cause. It's about getting to the root cause of our issues, of our pain, and this is what the channel is all about. It's about healing from deep within, from the inside out. Our roots, what is the surface? Surface is the level that people usually see. The invisible signs of the visible reality, whatever people are going to see outside the appearance, is actually because of what is happening deep down inside your heart, what is happening deep down inside your core. And as a woman, a feminine woman knows how to be. Many of us as a woman in this generation, we usually love to exude masculinity because our society sometimes has forced us to become a masculine. Or it is your upbringing. We always have this mentality that a woman has to be go, 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 be like a man, achieve things and do great lanes and follow your dreams, which is nothing wrong about those things. But however, we tend to become so competitive that we lose sight of being a feminine, which is softer. She is more graceful. She is more in her tranquility. She's not always in a rush, trying to get things done, trying to door. Because the reason why for some women are very tired, I'm also speaking based on my experience, and because I am in my healing journey, is that we have been forced to do things that is truly above and beyond, that sometimes when we don't listen to ourselves, we are going to rob ourselves of that peace and alignment. And for many of us, we get so misaligned because, again, as a woman, we have been bombarded with too much responsibilities, especially if you're raising children, if you are a wife, and at the same time you have a side hustle, if you have a business like myself trying to build my YouTube channel. And if you have not done so, please feel free to subscribe, share, and like. And if you have a job from 9 to 5, these things can take a toll on us, and we usually become so depleted out of our energy. As a woman, we tend to become cranky, and we have become so, as the lack of better word, the B word, which is the biatch word. And as I said before, the B word, which are the biatches or the bitches, which I don't like to use that word because it's very disrespectful. I think women become that way because they are created to be that way. They have encountered narcissistic men in their lives who are usually toxic, and they actually do not bring the best out of women. And if you have been dated with a kind of a man who keep on pushing you to a point where you have nothing to give, you become so masculine, and you will tend to put up a wall, and you will exude masculinity. Why not? Because you are trying to defend yourself. You are trying to protect your womanhood. And so for many of us, we think like a man and we curse like a man, like I usually do sometimes. And it all comes down to our wounds. Women that have been wounded and broken, it's because of the pain that we have endured. It's the pain that people have caused us. It is the words that people have told us or made us believe that you're never enough unless you perform, unless you outperform a man. You're never enough as a woman unless you have attained a certain degree, attain a certain success, which is actually a lie. That's why as a woman, we have to learn how to be. Being is being still. I'll let that thing pass first. It is about learning how to be still. There's something in the verse that says, "Be still and know that I am God." Stillness is hard. Stillness takes discipline. It takes deliberate choices. I have a lot of things in my plate. I have so much going on from Mondays through usually Fridays. I wake up early, bring my son to school, cook breakfast, cook lunch, and do the laundry, and you know exactly what a woman's job entails. However, we also have to take time for ourselves as a woman. It is about being in her restful essence, who doesn't please others but invites them to do the same. Just be. Being is actually to be is a verb. It is not a conjugated verb. So if you know English, the conjugated word to be is I am, is, was, and I don't even have to get into the grammar correctness of the verb to be. But in reality, when you are being still, you are forcing yourself to have alignment with your nervous system. We get so stressed out, and do you know that stress is one of the reasons why women die? Stressful situations, stressful relationships, stressful jobs, anything that stresses you out can cause heart attack, can cause you to deteriorate your health. And many of us as a woman, we get so stressed out by carrying too much stress on our shoulders. We tend to hunch back because we've been carrying this load of heaviness. We tend to please other people and be available for everybody else, but we put ourselves in a back burner. We put ourselves on the back of our list. And I'm finding out that if you are going to do that, when you keep on giving and when you keep on just serving everyone and you never really serve yourself, you're actually going to deplete of that, and you eventually become resentful. Because what is there for a woman is to keep on giving, and at the end of the day she becomes so bittered and resentful, and instead of serving your family out of love and out of a genuine service, now you are going to be contemptuous. You're going to dismay them, or you are not coming out of love because of the things that you're forced to do. So this is why, as a reminder, as a woman, we have to allow ourselves to sometimes stay away from a place where we can rejuvenate, we can have restful time, maybe at least 5 hours if you possibly could, 1 hour or 1 day. Sometimes we do not have to be guilty of that, because as I said, for some men, they are not expected to do all those things. Men are expected to clock in, clock out, bring the bacon home, and by the time they come home, they just place themselves in front of television, or for some men, they play video games. So the next point that I would like to make as your being as a woman is that she also is undisturbed. Undisturbed or unbothered is something that we also have to cultivate as a woman. We usually get so distracted. There are a lot of things that are competing with our attention. The media, if you actually like to scroll like myself, you get so bombarded with social media, trying to post, trying to get likes, trying to curate something that you'd like to share on social media. If you have Instagram, I usually don't have Instagram right now. I'm thinking of going back, but I find it sometimes it's unnecessary. There are things that we must choose which social media is going to help us. If you were trying to leverage your social media for your business, for me, usually my platform that I've been using is YouTube and Pinterest. These are the things, and I also have a blog that I have not updated lately, so it's something that is linked down below. All of the information is actually on the description below if you want to find out about my work. So this is about undisturbed, and you got to know exactly, sometimes when you have a lot of things going on your plate, that's why scheduling your time is important. You have to know your priorities. You have to tell maybe your husband or your children that you need time sometimes to create something or to do something with your business. So unbothered is also about people in our lives. We are living in a world where our society is going to trigger you. There are people out there who are toxic, that's going to send forth your way by the devil, who wants to piss you off, who wants to try you, to set you up, to sabotage whatever plan it is. Because there are people that are negative, There are people that are toxic. So unbothered is being immune to the distractions of people around you. Whatever they say, whatever they think of you, it doesn't really matter, because it's actually not about them. I mean, it's not really about their life, it's about your life. It has to be focused on you, of what makes you feel centered at the moment. And if you're getting so distracted of what people are doing and saying, you're going to lose sight of what you're doing in your life. You're going to miss out the bigger picture of what your purpose here on the earth. And Jesus even was being targeted by toxic people. Jesus was single-handedly by mobs. So people was always looking for Jesus, of where he was going, what he was about to do. And because he was the Son of God, and people were always interested of what he was like and what he was up to. Even though Jesus was doing good, he went about doing good, healing the sick, feeding the poor. But at the same time, some people that have nothing else better to do with their lives, they're going to do things to just attack you, humiliate you, and do things to actually make you want to be pissed off, because that is the plan. As if the devil is going to use these people to make your life miserable. So if you want to have this, your being as a feminine woman, you must also have to be unhurried. Do not rush. Do not really think like you gotta do it now, and I have to do it now, and the job is sloppy. It takes a long time to be graceful. It is a practice. It takes self-discipline and self-awareness. To be unhurried is something that you really have to be aware that I'm gonna do this with quality, with an excellent spirit. I am not gonna rush this. The same thing of however you cook your meal, you have to prepare, you have to make a preparation ahead of time. And I'm trying my best, because when you are living with some people in your life and you got to have a printout like this one lately, I print out this from Canva. You have to plan Mondays through Friday of what meal do you think is possible that you can plan for your family, so that you're not going to be rushing and just getting something to, well, granted, when there are times that you have to eat out because you probably are tired of eating the same food, you know, going out to get some food from McDonald's or fast food like Wendy's, maybe that's okay, but not every day, not every single day. That's why it's important that you have to plan your meal. You have to have an inventory list of what is in your pantry, what's inside your fridge, so that you can plan ahead of time for the whole week, and you're not going to be hurried and you have 5,000 things going on in your mind. And this is why I love to write down what I need to do, because I love to plan things ahead, so that you're not going to have all of these thoughts that is running through your mind. You're just going to dump it in a piece of paper or in a notebook. Another way you can cultivate your sense of being is you have to rest. Resting is very important. As probably I have alluded this point already from my last point, is resting when necessary. When you know your body is about to say, I am tired, you have to listen to that body, especially for us women when we are going to have hormonal imbalance and we have our period every month. We sometimes neglect our body. We would just say, you know what, that can wait. But eventually we're going to pay a price for that eventually later. And you wonder why some people in our lives, we think we're so cranky, we're not very nice to get along with, we are very unkind, because we are actually don't have enough rest. We don't have enough time to sleep. Women usually, we like to only sleep for 5 hours because that's all we can spare, but actually we need more than 5 hours of sleep. And so it's important that we need to rest more. And for me, I have a hard time resting sometimes. I don't know if you can hear that alarm. So we can actually just rest for a while. I only have at least 5 to 6 hours of sleep, because I usually have a hard time sleeping because my brain is always thinking and thinking and thinking. And when sometimes I am not resting, I tend to get so out of focus and I don't have enough strength, or I get snappy, have a short circuit. I tend to get easily triggered by the things, because 8 hours to 9 hours of sleep as a woman is important. But when we grow older, We lose sight of these things, that these are important, because again, we have so much things to do in our plate. And what else can we do about being still as a woman? Looking within, being in touch with myself requires awareness, not worrying about the outside stimuli that is out of my control. It requires self-soothing and deep breathing. When you are keeping in touch with yourself, you have to have self-awareness by not worrying again about the outside stimulus. As I already said, it's hard to really just be focused and be aware when there is so much stimulus going on around you. For instance, if you go to the store and you know that people are just busy talking out loud, or they're just doing things that can easily provoke you, these can be easily distraction. But for many of us, we have to really be focused on why we're there and what is our purpose in life. I always teach my son, sometimes when I have told him to take a video of me and he gets so self-conscious, because we get so self-conscious about the people around us, we always think like, what are they thinking of me? Are they looking at me weird? Are they looking at me funny? Are they gonna think of me as such? But these are actually just a stimuli that we can respond to, ignore it and pretend like they never existed. I'm not saying that you should be oblivious to the people around you, but at the same time, you have to be self-aware that these are people are meant to distract you. And the same thing right now, there's too much stimuli. Car honking and there's alarm blazing and people are playing. So these are just a stimuli because this is a public place. This is actually something that people would have their recreational, their walk, and then they play with their kids. But at the same time, I am not gonna stop doing this video because I want you guys to learn about this. And so another thing for being your being and to envelop as a woman, to be a feminine woman, is to keep your heart with all diligence. As a woman, we tend to get so emotional. As I said, our emotions get the best out of us, where we are creatures of emotionally wired women. We like to get so worked up because that's how we are being molded as a woman. But we're told in Proverbs 4:23 to keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it springs the issues of life. And so the issues of life is something that I have said are the wounds, the traumas that have been handed to you, the things, the cards that was unfortunate that was handed over to you, the things that were not right, the misfortune, the events that you had no control over. As I said, if you have known my story, my book is linked down below. I have wrote about my biography, about my story, about the past. It was not pretty. It was not something that I would want to wish for someone else. But because of the things that I tend to exude in the world is because of the things that I've been through. People usually that have been wounded from the past, they tend to get so defensive and they get so erratic sometimes. They have no self-regulation. It took me a long time to really self-regulate myself and to be in the equilibrium of my nervous system, because my nervous system has been all over the place. So as a woman, you have to take your time. You have to be gentle with yourself. You have to soothe yourself. You have to be a mother to yourself when no one was there mothering you. Like you had a mother wounds and your father wounds. These are the things that you have to deal with, that I usually like to talk about on my channel. And it says that you have to be able to know what your limitations are. And I think this is my last point. You have to know your limitation as a woman. You cannot always say yes for everybody. You cannot always be available for everybody, because what happens if you do that, as I said, people are just going to expect you that you're always going to be there for them when you have nothing else to give. When no one is filling your cup, you have to be able to fill up your cup. And that is something that you have to do unapologetically. We need to not be guilty as a woman to be there for everyone at the beck and call, and then we put ourselves on the last list. And so that is all that I want you to really think about in this few days, to cultivate your femininity and to exude this being still and being gentle and compassionate. And as I was watching the birds this morning, it reminds me that birds, as Jesus would say, they don't toil nor spin. They don't worry about the future. They're just living for today. And that's what Jesus said. Look at the birds. they are actually just living their lives. I'm not saying, of course, it is counterintuitive because we are a human being. We have to have goals and dreams in life, but at the same time, we must not forget to take the time to rest. We should not forget to take time to decompress and to enjoy life, because what is life if we don't have time for enjoyment, if we have no time for recreation, if we don't have time to relax? What good is a man to gain the whole world but loses his soul? Because if you lose your mind and your heart and your soul, then you're actually nothing. You are probably going to waste your time and your money at the hospital bed and wasting your time being laying on the bed instead of enjoying your life and being outside and enjoying this beautiful wonder that God has created. So that is why that I want you to be reminded that your being as a woman is something that you must embrace, that you must cultivate, and you must cherish at all times. I hope that you are blessed with this message. I will see you on my next video. And if you have not done so, please feel free to share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you on my next video. Have a nice day.